Hi, my name's Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, I am joined by a dear friend of mine. She is a yoga instructor and a guide who loves empowering people to connect deeper with their body and minds. Such a lovely, bright soul. I love you so much. Bianca Cadiz, thank you for being here again with me.
I love you. It's so good to be back. I just always love being here with you, and every time we just chat, we can go on all sorts of directions.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always an interesting time, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I hope people get out of this, right? Is like different perspectives. Like we don't know exactly what we're doing all the time. Who really does, to be honest with you? But we're trying, and that's all that matters. And we care. We're trying to help. So, besides me explaining myself right now, today the topic we're discussing is dating, specifically like right now in time. And I've actually steered away from this conversation a while because dating's just turned me off so much. But let's discuss, why are we talking about this topic actually?
Dating, such a juicy topic.
Juicy.
Relationships. Like,
is it juicy? Is it a horror story? Which one is it nowadays?
It can be all the things. I mean, I feel like we're talking about it because, for one, we've had lots of experience. And two,
this has been a rough few months.
Yeah, isn't it like an epidemic in this world, or like in this day and age?
Loneliness is an epidemic.
Loneliness, yeah, and that coincides with dating and trying to find people and be able to actually understand and figure out what is it you actually want and don't want. And yeah, relationships are your freaking mirror. And dating just...
Ooh, they're your mirror.
Yeah.
I like that. Because have you ever also heard the term, you will constantly attract the wounds that you need to heal within yourself until you learn the lesson?
Wow, we're getting deep right away.
Well, you're the one who said it, not me.
Yeah, no, it's so true though.
But it's like that person. That's why I even have to be careful now. I was telling you this. I'm like, this guy's such a nice guy. But I don't know. There's just not that like spark that I always get. I'm just like, the last few relationships I've known right off the bat, I'm like, I get a feeling.
Yeah.
But then I was telling you, I'm like, but my past relationships have not necessarily been the best for me. Right. A lot of growth, a lot of lessons, but there's a reason why I am single right now. Mm-hmm. Like definitely things that I had to address within myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dating is it is a mirror now that I think about it. But you constantly attract the lesson you need to learn until you get over it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're like, you know how to love yourself now. Now I can give you pure, genuine love because you don't need it from somebody else. You already have it with you. Mm-hmm. So I do like that.
Yeah. And dating, I feel like too, you meet so many different types of people, but I feel like there can be a pattern sometimes. Like if you take a look on your past, maybe partners or people that you go after right now in the present, mm-hmm. like there are some similarities, you know? And mm-hmm. I wonder, like people that are out there that are dating, like maybe the reason why you are going through that same maybe issue is because you are attracting those types of people. So then the question is like changing that, but then that's what makes it hard too sometimes in dating, like allowing yourself to maybe stray from what you're not used to.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel right.
It.
Yeah, because you're not used to it, so it doesn't feel right, but it actually might be good to you, but you're just not used to what's good for you. That's mm-hmm. why it feels weird. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm big on self-work too. You have to know what is good for you. And yeah, it's like we talk about this all the time, killing your old self, killing your old ways, because it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah. You have to get used to not being in that norm. Mm-hmm. But I do believe people will constantly repeat patterns as well, is because have you ever, I feel like you know a few people like this where they're just jumping from one relationship to another. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because they don't actually want to address the problem. They just want to hide beneath it in somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like a lot of times you keep repeating it until you heal it, or you can just go on your entire life and keep repeating it. Whatever you choose, it's your life. Do what you want with it. That doesn't sound too nice for me.
Yeah.
Do you notice a pattern that you love to repeat?
Not necessarily love.
No, okay, but that you it frequently repeat and revisit.
Mm-hmm. I think I catch myself where, I mean, I do love my independence and freedom, mm-hmm. but also when I'm in a relationship, like I also love being able to share that experience with someone and like like feel like, okay, you got me. Like we're both in this together. But there is a fine line of maybe me placing a bit too much of my attention and focus and energy and not necessarily worth, but like feeling like it has to fit like perfectly in a way. Like a relationship when it's in my life, like it is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a natural tendency for me, but it can get unhealthy or toxic if it gets in the way of like my own endeavors. And like, so it's like this constant dance, you know? But I think obviously I've grown from like my previous relationships and stuff, and I have become better about it, but I think it can be a pattern still coming up.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like relationships, you know, you hear it all the time. Like they're not supposed to complete you. They're supposed to like
two people are supposed to come together complete. And like from
Mm-hmm.
there you grow more of like into kind of who you are and you build each other up. I believe that partnership is supposed to be like complement the other person in a way. And also like they bring new things to light that you didn't know before.
Yes.
But you should be okay. Which brings, there's another question I have in regards to that. But question for you then on that.
Wait, and how about you? What's your answer to that question?
Why do you gotta go to me?
I'm gonna pickleball it back to you just because we played pickleball the other night.
Oh, we did play pickleball the other night. So this thankfully, and I'm realizing now too that like I'm out of it. So dating's definitely weird because it's like once again me trying to figure out, is this a trauma response or is it just something I'm used to? And that's where I'm trying to give people chances now where I didn't before.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, just because it makes sense in my mind, but just because it doesn't feel the same, like let me explore and see if there's something here or if they're just not for me. I'm just being open at this point, which I think you have to do. But my toxic trait that I used to have to keep learning and learning again is I was always intrigued, at least. And it's so funny because I'm like, you're so stupid in a way. Like I'm always attracted to the person that doesn't want me. And I think the reason why I kept repeating that though is because I lacked like, especially from a young age, I was told that love needed to be earned. It wasn't just given. Like once again, love my parents, but it was a lot of like, do this for me and I will reward you. Do this for me and I will love you. It wasn't just like you are worthy as you are. I think we're taught that like we need to work for love instead of it just straight up given to us. So,
and that can be such a big block in dating or if you're already in a relationship. Like, like if you can really just be yourself and give, like I'm a big believer in like giving and receiving. Like how can you give from an empty cup? You know, like if you're the giver, you should also be receiving that love too. Like it should not be.
Well, because you're gonna end up empty. They're gonna be full. They're just take, and you're gonna be empty. And one day you're gonna be sitting there like, what the heck, dude? This doesn't feel good. Like it's always gonna be one-sided in a way. Yeah. So I think it was like I lacked a lot of self-love. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but when I hear like I like somebody there for the experience with me, I was gonna ask you, do you have either like, do you feel like experiences are only good if they're shared with others?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I've had amazing experiences by myself. And I also think it's also extra special when you get to experience it with others too. So I believe in both.
So why do you think you get lost in relationships?
Not that I know.
Or used to.
Yeah. Maybe that's a sign, a redirection to like, okay, Bianca, you need to pour your focus back into the things that maybe you've been avoiding or distracting yourself with. And maybe that's just something that I also need to be more mindful about, continuing to work on that within, because with every person you date, every relationship, that same pattern's going to come up. Like that person can be different, but that's still your own shit that you need to work through. And yeah, that's something I like am working through, you know, like it's okay to want to be in a relationship, but as long as it's not taking away from your
life, like what's important to you. And if you think that something's great and for some reason along the way your values don't align anymore, it's okay to walk away. But yeah, a lot of people will go ahead and like sell themselves short in order to just be with somebody. Cause I get it. Love it. Like your brain's wired to love. It is. We release like dopamine and oxytocin and all those feel good chemicals. So it's like, you can't get addicted to just being with somebody, even though you know they're not good for you.
Right. And that's crazy. Like the whole thing, like I was doing like research on this too, of the whole like chasing thing, like that high. It's like the whole breadcrumb fallacy too. Like we kind of get hooked on that like one little thing, and then that long wait, and then the dopamine hit. So, but that's not how it should be.
No.
You know? And I think you read this quote the other day from that book, and it was so sweet. It was like, love and doubt should not be hand in hand or something.
It's like love and doubt don't co-reside or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meaning like they're not together. It should just be like, I love that. Yeah. Love and doubt don't co-reside with each other. Yeah. I do think like, yeah, that's the thing is like, I don't think that love, you should have to sell yourself short in any type of way. And I feel like a lot of people do manipulate themselves to be loved by another person just because we all have this fantasy and an idea of what we want out of a relationship. And I know personally for me, one of the reasons I in the past would get caught up in somebody else's life was because once again, it's that validation thing. I'm like, I think that if I'm not giving you my time, if I have my own thing on the side and I'm not giving you enough time, you're going to go away. Like for some reason I feel,
abandonment.
Yeah. Like they are more important of being nurtured than me. And if I don't nurture them, they're going to go away. And that's part of me where it's like, no, I don't know how to solve that. I do know how to solve that problem. I just focus on me now. But that was my thing. I'm like, if I don't give you time, are you just going to disappear? Because once again, I like men who are kind of self-centered because they're these big personalities that sometimes go hand in hand. Yeah. But
then reminding yourself of like your own values and the whole thing about you don't need to earn it. Like that's a really big lesson too. And anyone who's dating, like, yeah, of course, like, get to know the person, really see if your values are aligned. But if it becomes like you have to adjust to their, you know, their values or like walk on eggshells, like that isn't healthy.
In my opinion, you land up presenting the person in the long run because you can only pretend to be something you're not for so long. That's why even now I've adopted on dates, like some people will be like, so what are you looking for? And I'm like, personally, I don't want to tell you. Because if I tell you, is it going to manipulate the way that you're acting right now? Are you going to go ahead and love bomb me or act like the person that I say is important to me in order to get me? And then we're 6 months in and you're going to turn into another person.
So what is your take on like, you know, like expressing your needs and communication? Like where is the fine line with that?
In the beginning, I think I genuinely just let people show me who they are at first. Because I don't feel like in the beginning, you don't know me anything and I don't know you anything.
Right, like I don't know what I want from you. Or
I'm like, guys, just because you go on one date with somebody does not mean that you're like hooked for life, does not mean that they're supposed to do what you need. This is your time for you to experience, like, is this a good fit for me? Let me see how they treat me. Because that's probably, if you're not telling them, that's hopefully just who they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do believe in like when you get to that point, like tell them what you need. But in the beginning, like, this is a getting to know each other. This isn't like we owe each other anything. I can express what's important to me, but I just realized I don't want to do that in the beginning because I don't want you to manipulate who you actually are to please me.
Right.
It's kind of like a friendship too. It's like if I find out you're different than me after a few months, I'm going to walk away.
That's such a good point to make too. Like I was thinking about this the other day, like I forgot who I was talking to, but like, why do we place romantic relationships above friendship relationships and place like, what am I trying to say? Like, how would you want your friend to treat you? You know, like why would you let a romantic partner treat you any less? Like, would you accept that from a friend? You know? So it's like, why do we give excuses for a romantic relationship or partner for treating us this way when we're like, wait a second, would we even want our friend to do this to us or like treat us this way?
Exactly.
So it's almost like seeing your partner who you're dating for who they are, face value.
Yeah. I don't like giving too much. And I feel like just by how somebody speaks though, and like you could probably tell me what I probably like or what I am or who I am by listening to me and seeing how I move and how I react and me telling you what's important to me. If you're not listening to me, like just giving you those little cues on a first date, like I don't want to have to tell you my entire life what I need. I don't.
Right.
Yes, I believe in open communication, but like I want you to be able to be receptive. That's something that like I appreciate. That's why I don't like telling people what, and I think we do put so much more emphasis on romantic relationships. And don't get me wrong, like I want a relationship, I want to get married, I want to have kids because I do think we idolize the dream of what we want. But in a lot of cases, it's like, I feel like it shouldn't be this way, but a lot of times romantic relationships are more transactional than friendships. Sometimes. Because you can rely on this other person to give you something that you feel like you can't give to you once again. You're like, I can't give myself that dopamine fix. I can't love myself that deeply. Yeah. Some people might be looking for like, they're like, I'd rather have a roommate I can sleep with than somebody I can just live with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Split the bills. Like there's so much like emphasis and pressure put on it. So I think it's there's multiple reasons. But I do think that we should go about things where it's like, I want my next relationship to be my best friend. Yes, I want us to both have different roles we play in the relationships for sure, because I do believe in like female roles and male roles, like not to a certain extent. Yeah. But yeah, I want them to be my best friend. You know, I want to have open communication. I want to be honest. I want to be able to be myself and have fun and play. Yeah. Like stop putting so much pressure. Yeah. On that note too, let's talk about values, I guess, in a way. Yeah. Sure. This is funny. And I'm recently new dating before I was turned off of it for a very long time. Cause I'm just like, this shit's exhausting. It is. I ain't gonna lie.
Sometimes you need that time away from it. Like,
especially too, I think in the mindset too, I went into it. Let's talk about the apps and this kind of stuff. So I went into it also thinking 2 years ago, I'm just like, I don't want to meet somebody on an app. This sucks. Like, I'm never going to find anybody good. I fell into that trap that a lot of people fall into. And that's what I got in return, though. I'd go on dates with people, and I'm like, this is a waste of my time. I saw it as a waste of my time. Not like, okay, I'm trying to build the future that I want for myself. And that's what I would get, though. I would get negative experiences. Oh, but recently, I flipped the switch. I'm like, I'm open to meeting new people. I think that every experience is valuable because even if you're not my person, that means I'm one step closer to my person, hopefully. Yeah. I decided to flip the script and say, I'm just going to go, like, I'm going to enjoy the moment for what it is. I'm just enjoy this person for who they are. No judgment, no trying to like pick you apart. Yeah. And oddly enough, I feel like I've been attracting better options since accepting that mindset.
Oh yeah. Because you're open to the experience rather than already going it with a mentality of like, like worst case scenario type.
Yeah. And have you noticed that in your life or?
Like with dating or
like what's your experience with dating? Yeah. Let's like any dating app. Like how have your stuff been? Because I know people are like, it's rough.
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, I've had my fair share of like using the dating apps, like Hinge and all. And I mean, there was a period of time where I would be going on these dates and I didn't really know what my intention was. I think at that time I was just going into it to meet people. But
which I think is fine too.
That's the thing about values I think is so important there's no right or wrong way, right? But I personally think it's smart or at least more responsible to take a step back and like, if you need to write your values down or just like have a chat with yourself of like, wait a second, like what's actually important to me? What do I want in a person?
And are you giving that to yourself also?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when I was going on those dates, like I didn't have that conversation with myself. And I think that's what kind of just like made me kind of like go with the flow of like how it was and honestly kind of mold myself into whatever that dynamic was. But then it was obviously short-lived. And then I realized like after I'm like, actually like this was just like a short-term kind of thing. And I ended up feeling bad that it was, one person wants more, but the other person doesn't. And I found myself more in that situation of like, I don't see this as a long-term relationship. And that's okay. If you're dating and you just want the experience, if you want to just meet people, that's pure intention. But if you really want a partnership, like a long-term relationship, really sit down with yourself and be honest with what your values are.
Yeah. That's what I think it comes down to, though, in anything. Honesty with yourself, as well as honesty with the other person. Because you can't let fear of getting hurt for one, or hurting somebody else's feelings also get in the way. Yeah. Like, it's admirable to give somebody a chance, but the second that, like, you do kind of not know, or, like, I get it, you could be like, oh, let me just see because I know they really like me. I think I'd rather have somebody be brutally honest with me and say, yo, this is not flowing versus like wasting my time. And it's also, once again, not time wasted. You gave it a shot, but you should care about the other person's feelings. Yeah. But I don't know. I get where people are like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. They drag things out longer, but you're blocking yourself from finding the right person then still by dragging things out.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to ask you then too, how do you think people even find their values? Because I feel like so many people are like, I think this is a value, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe I can like lessen it for this person. You know what I mean?
Right. I know. Values is such a big like word, right?
Values.
Values. But I would say what's important to you, what matters to
Yeah.
you, like whether it be, I mean, you can throw it into different buckets, like lifestyle, character traits. Sure, if you want to go into like their thoughts on like marriage, all those things, like the nitty-gritty details. But essentially for me, like I value like having good character, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
how is it with family? How is the value around career and ambition? Like real traits, I would say, like intangible traits, but also
Mhm.
tangible traits, right? But I like what you said earlier, Christina, of like values that you have within yourself too,
Yeah.
that you're not outsourcing it on the other person. Because what's your take on like dating someone where they could also teach you things and then you can also teach them things? But it has to be a balance, right?
For sure.
Like,
Well, that's what I was going to say too. I'm like, once again, I think a relationship should be energetically like mutual. Like, don't get me wrong, there are going to be days where you're going to be 20 and they're going to be 80 and they can balance you out. And I'm not saying you absolutely have to be this exactly the same, because opposites do attract. I'm just saying when it comes to at least your level of confidence, your emotional intelligence, and what you can bring to the table, you can bring two different things to the table, but you both have to be fully like that same form of richness,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I don't think there should just be one person who's completely full and the other person like seeking for you to fill their cup.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
That's why I'm like, if you want a man to build you up, do you already build yourself up? Let alone building up can be two different ways for both people. And they can introduce you to new things that you're like, oh, this also fills my cup even more. But you still have to be able to build your own or fill your own, and they have to fill their own. It could be in two separate ways though.
Yeah.
That's as long as you're just both full. It doesn't have to be the same type of like things you do in order to feel that way, if that makes sense. And also too, the one thing I've appreciated lately, maybe I just have the luck of the draw, but I'm like, also allow people to show you new values in you if you like it, and then start representing it in yourself.
Yeah.
Or because we talked about this and I'm like, this is bare minimum. I'm like, why did I think this was so special? I'm like, okay, I like this new thing. I'm adapting. Like, I went on a date and the guy got out of the car, gave me a hug, opened the door, got back in the car, would not let me touch a single door handle the entire night. And I was impressed and I liked it. And I didn't even know that was something I was going to like. And now I'm like, that is bare minimum, because it is.
Yes.
And that means a lot to me, is just showing that the little gentleness, the little bit you care, and making me feel a little special. But people can also show you new values in yourself too. That's why I'm like, be open, because somebody might introduce something to you that you didn't know you needed before.
I love that take.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about like relationships or dating can be mirrors to yourself of like, okay, like they're actually inspiring
I'm
me
like,
to be
wow, you're
better.
right. I do deserve to be treated better. Thank you. But it's also too, I know I deserve that because I romanticize every little thing in my life. You saw the way I was this week. I'm like, ceremony, no, we're going to lay under the stars, get the blanket, make the bed. I romanticize everything in my life. So why shouldn't I be doing that in my dating life also? I'm like, thank you. You just made me realize something now, that if I didn't have this, I'm probably going to fall short in the long run. You know?
Like, and that's not asking for much.
It's not. I was so shocked. I'm like,
Well,
how did
thank
it
you
take
for
me
showing me.
this long to figure out that that little thing is kind of just what I need?
I think it's so funny how like those memes where it's like, oh my gosh, like he opened the door for me. Or like,
I'm just like,
what?
dude,
Like-
the simplest thing. That's why I'm like, if you men also too, if you think maybe you're making it hard on yourself. If you just put a little thought into things, sometimes a little thought goes a long way. Everyone's like, all these women or these men out here are looking for grand gestures. It's so difficult. They want rose petal this. A lot of people just want the little shit that shows you care. Never
the thought behind
underestimate
it.
that. Actually, never underestimate that.
No. And that's the thing about values too, going back to it. Like, are you a person who values more like, I want more tangible things. Like, do you actually, is that really a value to you? Like material things, you know, like, do you want your man to like, I don't know, give you gifts and stuff? Like, this is just a very general example. Or are you the type of person who really values like emotional communication and like affirmation? Like maybe it's related to like the love languages, right? Like those are values that are important to you, then you should also be able to express them. But there comes a point where it's like you don't want to force that person to give that to you.
That's why I'm like, let them
just
show
who they
you.
are. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your values, Christina?
I was
right
actually
now?
going to ask you that.
We're on the same wavelength.
To close out, I feel like it'd be good to just do that. But I love that you said that, and I could not agree more. And that's why I'm also big on too, is like, let people show you and know your values, know your love language, speak up for yourself, have open and honest communication, but don't be scared to walk away from something if it does not fit your boxes. Because realize in the long run, it's probably going to cause you more harm than good. Yeah. You shouldn't be scared to stand up for yourself and truly represent and work for what you believe in. So my values. I actually thought about these recently because somebody asked me them and I was like, I ain't gonna answer that, but I'll think about it at home. One of my big ones is emotional intelligence.
Big one.
For sure. I don't want to be the person over here trying to work things out while you're just acting emotional, trying to make a situation a lot of times worse than what it is. So emotional intelligence for sure. Integrity. I'm sorry. I've met so many. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you say you're going to do something and don't do it. When you don't hold yourself to a certain type of standard. Yeah. I just like people who are like, I know who I am. I'm consistent, and I swear you can trust me. That's my thing. I feel like there was a third one. I think another one that's been is fun. To be honest with you, fun. Just being able to. Because I've also met them, like me being attracted to men who are successful because of that personality. I like men who take charge and are able to like hold themselves and stand their ground and be the big person in the room. Yeah. A lot of the times that does come with them also being the big person in the room, and they're bigger than me. I like somebody who is just a wholehearted person, loves to have fun, and acknowledges like, I can do this, but I can also do this. Multifaceted, I guess, in a way. Like, you know how to handle your shit, but let loose. Be a child once in a while.
Don't take everything too seriously.
Yeah. So I think that's it. It's just being able to have fun with each other, because I think that's one of the biggest joys in life. Is I want a serious person, but at the same time, I'm not trying to have you just only take care of me. I want you to play with me and have fun.
Right. And then like experience like everything together. That's fun.
Yeah.
That.
What about yours to close us out, Bianca? Your values. You guys, she's single right now. I'm kidding. Should I not have said that?
Oh my God.
Are you? I'm kidding. Are you?
We shall see on the next episode.
Dun dun dun.
Dun,
But
dun,
for real.
dun. What is my relationship status at the moment?
Oh my God.
We're deciding right now. No.
What's your values, Bianca?
My 3. Okay, I'll limit it to 3. I would say also emotional intelligence. Like, I'll relate it to like emotional communication, like open communication, being able to communicate your feelings.
Yeah.
And not like hide from it or shy away from it or make me have to be the one to carry that emotional weight, because I've experienced that.
Definitely.
And that's the whole thing. It's like us as women, like we are more emotional. Like that's just our genetics, you know?
Yeah, something pops into my head where I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a mother to the boy in you. I'm not doing 100%. That. I will support you. I will build you up. I will like stand by your side. Yes. I don't even mind staying home, taking like, I have my own endeavors, cooking. But like, yeah, like I love that feminine stuff, but I'm not going to be your mom.
That's the difference, right? So yeah, let me be in my feminine, but also let me like be held and nurtured. So second value, I would say, someone who who's open-minded.
Yes.
In a way that's like aligning with my values though. You know, like open-minded but respects me. Like someone who's respectful but is also open-minded, if that makes sense. You know, so like you like to travel, you like different experiences, but you know what's important to
I
me.
agree with that completely. Yeah,
And will
I like
respect
that.
me
Yeah.
as like your person.
Yeah.
And then last value, I would say, just a good person, good-hearted person. Like you just treat your friends with genuinity, your family with genuinity. You know, because I feel like you could tell a lot about a person of how they treat a waiter or their friend. How do they talk about other people? Like I want you to be that constant in how you treat me too.
I get that. A good person. That's important. So, oh, well, thank you again so much for this conversation. I feel like I love those values. That says a lot about your personality too. So, thank you for being here again with me, Bianca. I love you.
Thank you for having me.
And until next time, you guys, thank you for listening, and I love you. Done. Okay, we.
Woo! Woo!